My beloved child, be still before me for a moment. Let your soul become quiet enough to hear my voice again. I know there are pains within you that no longer cry out, not because they have healed, but because you have learned to live with them. There are wounds you no longer speak about, because you have become accustomed to carrying them. But my child, I never intended for pain to become your permanent home. I do not want you to call numbness peace. I do not want you to call silent suffering maturity. I do not want you to believe that a wounded heart is something you must carry forever. For my word says in Isaiah 61:1, He has sent me to bind up the broken-hearted. If I am the healer of broken hearts, why would I ask you to remain wounded? I have seen the days when you smiled while your heart was bleeding. I saw the moments when you answered, "I'm fine," even though your soul was exhausted. I know how many times you convinced yourself that everyone suffers, so you had no right to admit your weakness. But my beloved child, pain does not become normal simply because many people carry it. Time may cover memories with dust, but only my grace can heal wounds at their roots. You have hidden your hurt beneath responsibility, beneath busyness, beneath a strong appearance. You learned how to survive difficult seasons. I do not blame you for that. I know there were days when your only goal was to make it through one more day. But today, I'm not calling you merely to survive. I'm calling you to live again. You were never created to become a locked room filled with hidden sighs. Psalm 147:3 declares, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Hear me clearly. I'm not asking you to decorate your wounds. I'm not asking you to pretend to be strong. I'm not asking you to carry old pain forever. I desire healing. Remember the man who lay beside the pool of Bethesda for 38 years. When my son approached him, he asked, "Do you want to be made well?" John 5:6. That question was not meant to condemn him. It was an invitation. Healing begins when the soul stops agreeing with captivity. Today, I ask you the same question. Do you truly want to be healed? Not simply to hurt a little less, not merely to receive temporary comfort, but to allow me to enter the deepest places of your heart. Perhaps healing frightens you, because healing means releasing old excuses. Healing means letting go of familiar pain. Healing means learning how to hope again. But I do not approach you with harshness. I come as a gardener. I know every root hidden beneath the soil. I know every dry branch. I know every fragile place still capable of growing again. I will not destroy what remains alive within you. I will water it, prune it, restore it. As John 15:2 says, every branch that bears fruit he prunes, so that it may bear more fruit. Sometimes restoration feels uncomfortable, but it is the pain of healing, not the pain of destruction. My beloved child, stop calling hardness of heart protection. Stop calling emotional numbness peace. Stop calling walls around your soul wisdom. I desire to give you a new heart. Ezekiel 36:26 declares, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. That is my desire for you, not merely to wipe away today's tears, but to restore the joy that has been silent within you for many seasons. Bring to me the memories you avoid. Bring to me the disappointments. Bring to me the losses. Bring to me the fears. You do not need perfect words. I understand even silent tears. I understand prayers that never become sentences. Matthew 11:28 says, Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Rest does not mean forgetting your story. Rest means placing your burdens into hands strong enough to carry them. You do not need to wait until you stop trembling. Come exactly as you are, weary, honest, hurting, longing, doubting, yet willing to be loved. I will soften what has grown hard. I will remove bitterness. I will restore joy. I will teach your soul how to breathe again. My beloved child, there are mornings when sunlight enters your room, yet your heart still feels cold. You wake up, you work, you smile, you continue fulfilling responsibilities, yet deep within you remains an emptiness. I know that emptiness. I do not ignore it. Psalm 42:2 says, "My soul thirsts for God, for the living God." Busyness cannot satisfy that thirst. Success cannot satisfy it. People cannot completely satisfy it. Only my presence can. I saw your silent nights. I saw your hidden tears. I saw the moments when you carried burdens no one else knew about. But my beloved child, enduring is not always healing. Silence is not always peace. Constant activity is not always progress. Faith is not carrying the entire world on your shoulders. Faith is entrusting your burdens to me. 1 Peter 5:7 says, "Cast all your anxiety upon him because he cares for you." Not part of it, not only the easier burdens, everything. Give me everything. If all you can pray today is, "Father, I am tired," that prayer is enough, because your Father is near. I do not love you less when you feel weak. I do not abandon you when you cry. You are my beloved child. And I am teaching you once again that rest is not failure. Rest is where new life begins. Come closer and listen carefully, for today I want to teach your heart something precious. I know your soul longs to be loved, understood, and accepted. I created you with the capacity to love deeply, to connect sincerely, and to share your life with others. There is nothing wrong with that longing. But my beloved child, not everything that appears loving carries my light. True love will never pull you away from my presence. True companionship will never weaken your prayers, cool your faith, or make you doubt the worth I have placed within you. My word says in 1 John 4:1, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God." There are influences that enter quietly into your life. They do not always arrive with loud warnings. Sometimes they come through comforting words, familiar voices, or relationships that seem harmless at first. But little by little, they can dim the light within your soul. Some people make you feel accepted while slowly teaching you to compromise your convictions. Some advice sounds wise, yet plants seeds of fear, confusion, and doubt. Some relationships offer affection, but quietly steal your peace. My child, darkness rarely asks you to walk away from me in a single moment. It simply invites you to drift away little by little. A small compromise, a neglected prayer, a distracted heart, a growing distance from my voice, until one day you realize your joy has disappeared and your spirit feels heavy. Therefore, learn discernment through my spirit. James 3:17 says, "The wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, reasonable, full of mercy and good fruits." What comes from me may correct you, but it will never humiliate you. What comes from me may reveal your weaknesses, but it always leads toward restoration. After spending time with someone, ask yourself, does my faith become stronger? Does my heart become more peaceful? Do I desire my Father's presence more? Or do I feel increasingly restless, anxious, and distant from prayer? Do not ignore these signs. The Holy Spirit often speaks softly. Sometimes his warning comes as an uneasy feeling. Sometimes his guidance comes through a loss of peace. Sometimes he simply reminds your heart, this is not helping you grow. My beloved child, guard your heart. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Guard your heart above all else, for from it flow the springs of life." Not everyone deserves access to the deepest places of your soul. Not everyone should influence your thoughts. Not every voice deserves authority over your emotions. Remember Samson. He was strong against enemies, yet he became vulnerable where he lacked discernment. His downfall began not on a battlefield, but within unhealthy intimacy. Learn from his story. Spiritual strength must be protected. Do not hold tightly to relationships simply because you fear loneliness. Do not stay connected to what constantly drains your peace. I'm not asking you to become cold-hearted. I'm teaching you to love wisely. Discernment does not destroy love. Discernment purifies love. There are people I will teach you to love from a healthy distance. There are conversations I will teach you to leave behind. There are doors I will gently close because I am preparing better doors to open. Psalm 32:8 declares, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. Trust my guidance. I see motives hidden from human eyes. I know what strengthens your soul. I know what weakens your spirit, and I will faithfully guide you. My beloved child, today I also want to speak about your eyes, not only your physical eyes, but the eyes of your soul. My son said in Matthew 6:22, the eye is the lamp of the body. What you continually look at shapes what you think. What you think shapes what you desire, and what you desire eventually guides your life. Everything you repeatedly place before your eyes becomes a seed. Some seeds produce peace, others produce anxiety. Some seeds produce gratitude, others produce envy. Some seeds produce holiness, others slowly awaken darkness. That is why I ask you to become watchful. I do not want you living in fear, but I want you living with wisdom. David was a man after my own heart, yet even David stumbled when his eyes remained fixed on what did not belong to him. One unguarded moment became a doorway to pain. Therefore pray. Psalm 119:37 says, Turn my eyes away from worthless things. My beloved child, your eyes were created to recognize beauty, to see kindness, to read my word, to look upon others with compassion, to notice my fingerprints in ordinary moments. But comparison is stealing joy from many hearts. You look at others, you see their success, their achievements, their opportunities, and you begin believing you are falling behind. But your journey is not their journey. Your season is not their season. I am writing a unique story for your life. Do not compare unfinished chapters. Do not measure your worth by human standards. Keep your eyes upon me. Remember Peter. As long as he looked at my son, he walked upon the water. But when his attention turned toward the storm, fear overcame him. The storm had not changed. Only his focus changed. The same is true for you. If you constantly focus on fear, your soul learns fear. If you constantly focus on problems, your heart becomes discouraged. But when your eyes return to me, peace returns. Psalm 34:5 declares, Those who look to him are radiant. My beloved child, make a covenant with your eyes. Protect what enters your heart. Ask yourself often, does this bring me closer to my Father? Does this strengthen purity? Does this increase gratitude? Does this nourish peace? Or does it leave me restless, confused, heavy, empty? I desire something greater for you. I do not simply want you to avoid darkness. I want you to become nourished by light. Philippians 4:8 says, Whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, and commendable, think about these things. Allow your thoughts to dwell there. Allow your eyes to dwell there. Allow your heart to dwell there. Because when your eyes are guarded, your peace becomes stronger. When your focus is purified, your soul becomes lighter. And when your gaze remains fixed upon me, your life begins shining from within. My beloved child, you do not need to fear what I reveal. Everything I uncover is meant to protect you. Everything I remove is meant to free you. Everything I heal is meant to restore you. Remain close to me. Listen for my voice. Follow my peace, and I will lead you safely. You are not alone. You are loved. You are being guided, and your Father is teaching you how to walk in wisdom. Come close and rest in my presence once more. There is something I want you to understand deeply today. Restoration is not simply the absence of pain. Healing is not merely learning how to smile again. What I desire for you goes far beyond temporary relief. I want to renew the deepest places within your soul. There were seasons when fear settled inside you like dust. There were days when disappointment convinced you that nothing would ever change. There were nights when you quietly believed that perhaps you would always remain this way. But, my beloved child, that has never been my plan for you. My word declares in Isaiah 43:19, "Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I'm doing something new within you, not merely changing your circumstances, not simply removing difficulties, but awakening life again within your spirit." I know there were moments when you tried to understand everything. You wanted answers, you wanted explanations, you wanted certainty. But true wisdom does not come from controlling every detail. True wisdom is learned by walking closely with me. Knowledge may reveal many roads, but my presence reveals the path that leads to life. James 1:5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God. Come to me like a child, not carrying the burden of figuring everything out alone. I see what you cannot yet see. I understand what you cannot yet understand. And I am leading you faithfully. My beloved child, remember Naaman. He was respected, strong, successful. Yet beneath his garments he carried a sickness. When I instructed him to wash in the Jordan River 7 times, he resisted because healing did not arrive according to his expectations. But healing often requires humility. Sometimes I ask you to let go of the image that says, I must always be okay. I must never cry. I must never ask for help. But healing begins when pride is surrendered. Healing begins when you say, Father, I cannot do this without you. And when you step into obedience, I will do what human strength cannot accomplish. Some tears will become rivers, washing away confusion. Some weaknesses will become places where my power shines brightly. Some lonely seasons will later become testimonies of my faithfulness. For my grace is sufficient for you. As 2 Corinthians 12:9 declares, my power is made perfect in weakness. Do not despise your fragile places. Place them into my hands. I know how to restore them. My beloved child, stop fighting your own heart. Stop believing you must win an inward battle before you deserve peace. You do not have to prove yourself worthy of my embrace. I knew you before you learned to hide your pain. I saw every silent tear, every hidden disappointment, every lonely night. Jeremiah 1:5 says, Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Nothing inside you surprises me. No fear pushes me away. No wound is too deep for my love. I do not enter your life as a guest waiting for everything to be perfect. I enter while the dust still remains, while confusion still lingers, while unanswered questions still hurt. Psalm 103:13 says, As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. That compassion is patient, gentle, steady, faithful. I do not grow tired of restoring you. I do not become frustrated by your weakness. I remain beside you, waiting, healing, renewing, teaching you how to trust again, teaching you how to breathe again, teaching you how to live again. My beloved child, there were moments when you believed you had lost your light. You looked at your circumstances, you looked at your failures, you looked at closed doors, and your soul became weary. But I want to cleanse the eyes of your heart. For my Son declared, John 8:12, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me shall not walk in darkness. Not every light in this world is true light. Some lights entertain. Some lights distract. Some lights promise happiness, but only my light restores the soul. Remember Hagar in the wilderness. She felt forgotten, rejected, alone. Yet I met her there. And she called me the God who sees me. Genesis 16:13 reminds you of this truth. My beloved child, I still see you. I see the burden you do not speak about. I see the questions hidden in your heart. I see the places where hope almost disappeared. And I have not abandoned you. I am near, closer than you realize. Faith sees what natural eyes cannot yet perceive. Ephesians 1:18 says, May the eyes of your heart be enlightened. That is my desire for you, to open your spiritual eyes, to help you recognize my hand working behind the scenes, to help you see grace in ordinary moments, to help you notice hope growing quietly beneath difficult seasons. My beloved child, perhaps today your vision still feels blurry. Do not be discouraged. Remember the blind man at Bethsaida. At first, he saw people like trees walking. Healing had begun, but clarity had not yet fully arrived. Then my son touched his eyes again, and he saw clearly. Some healing comes gradually. Some restoration unfolds little by little. Do not lose heart. I am still touching your eyes. I am still restoring your vision. I am still renewing your soul. I am not finished with you. My beloved child, today I invite you to surrender everything once more. Give me your fears. Give me your regrets. Give me your disappointments. Give me your weariness. Give me your confusion. Give me your unanswered questions. You do not need beautiful prayers. You only need an honest heart, even if all you can whisper is, "Father, I need you." That prayer reaches heaven. That prayer moves my heart. Romans 8:26 reminds you, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, even when you do not know what to say, even when words fail, even when tears become your only prayer. Heaven still hears you, grace still surrounds you, mercy still covers you, and my love still remains. Final blessing. My beloved child, do not be afraid of tomorrow. I am already there. Do not fear the unknown. I walk ahead of you. Do not believe that you are broken beyond repair. I am the God who restores. I am the God who renews. I am the God who heals. I am the God who calls dead places back to life. Rise gently now. Lift your eyes. Take a deep breath. The season of merely surviving is coming to an end. I am teaching you to live again. I am restoring joy. I am rebuilding peace. I am renewing hope. And as you continue walking with me, you will discover that even after the longest night, my light still rises. For you are my beloved child. You are seen, you are known, you are deeply loved. And I will never stop leading you toward the life I have prepared for you. Amen.